Yo, JD here, Limits, and as you can see, back on F1 2020, as always, and this will in fact be my last video of 2020 itself. And I just want to say, for everyone who has supported the channel, this year I know it's been a very bad year for many people, including myself in many moments, but overall, it's been kind of a life-changing one for me. And the support I've got, especially on this channel, with my racing and everything, is the reason why I just love it so much. So I really want to thank everyone who's tuned in. It really does mean a lot to me. But these races here, as you can see now, or if I can speak properly, these were 5 lappers that I was doing with a very, very sweaty group of drivers. This was actually after a charity live stream that I actually did yesterday by the time you're watching this video, and we are all using the default setup as well, which makes it not really less serious, but just makes it more fun, I think, in my opinion. And in a way, it actually does make it less serious because people aren't using their own custom ones and everyone's on the same playing field. It just makes it a little bit less toxic, maybe, if that's the right word to use. It just makes it just a bit more casual, but just a lot more fun as well, in my opinion. So I had a good time doing this, but I also realised quite recently, and this is something I've said before, when people give you advice and people comment on my videos or other people's videos, you really should listen to those people, because even if they don't have the same experience as you, or they don't play the game and they're not as good as you, I think always having a different opinion, an outside opinion as well, which I think is very important, can really be sometimes the best advice that you can receive. And I think the best advice I've received this year, which is why I want to end it on a note at the end of the year with a little message to everyone, is definitely to make sure that you enjoy your racing or whatever you do, and to make sure you actually take a break at times. Because before this video I took a good 3 or 4 days off, and I just felt so much better when I came back into the game. And I think you'll be able to see by my driving here, I'm just being a lot more patient. I'm just driving really well, to be honest, and you'll see it in the second race especially. I'm just having a lot more fun, just a lot more relaxed. I think the number one advice that I can take from this year is to definitely make sure you know when to have a bit of a reset and to switch off. And because if you don't, and you're just constantly grinding away, which I see a lot of people do, not just other content creators, but also other league racers and other drivers, I think sometimes less is more. And if you just keep on hammering away at something, just trying to hope it eventually sticks, then that's when you can sometimes run into problems with demotivation and just not feeling good about playing the game. And yeah, I definitely needed a few days off, 3 or 4 days, which I know probably doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, the only games I've played on my Xbox for the last 3 years has been Formula 1. I haven't played Call of Duty, which I used to play, or FIFA, or Battlefield, or anything like that, games I used to play. And that's not because this is my job or anything, it's because I'm just so busy with other things that are going on around this, I just haven't had the time. So my number one message is definitely to look after yourself, definitely make sure you have a break, because sometimes having that break really allows you to go back into what you do and have a kind of a reset. It's very hard to get out of that driving pattern that isn't really working as well as it could do for you. When you have a reset, when you're a few days away, your mind just has to readjust again, and that's when you normally find a bit more performance or time gain and just a bit more enjoyment in what you're doing again. And I think in this video you can see here everyone's running the same setups, and I'm just driving so well at this point. Ever since I come back after this little break, I'm just really committed, just feeling really confident. Changed a few things with my camera settings, which you can see here, which I hopefully will put in the description. If I don't, then make sure you just spam me and I will comment it. But just feeling completely refreshed. And again, I think just making sure you give yourself that break, because more is definitely not better. You have to do it in good quality. Quantity isn't better than quality, and that's something I tell our esport drivers as well, because I think last year when we were at Renault we definitely did it too many hours, whereas this year we obviously you still do a lot of hours, but you've got to make sure it's in the right quality rather than just pumping in a lot of frequency and volume. So, and I think that's definitely showing here. I'm just really in a really good rhythm at the moment. I just feel after coming back, I just feel, yeah, I don't know what it is. It just feels nice to just have a reset here. And this race, Brazil, I haven't done this track too many times. I don't think I've ever featured it in a video on F1 2020 ever, I don't think. So this was very, very nice to drive. Curbs are much flatter than they were on the previous game. I know a lot of people say they prefer it at the last game, but on here I'm really liking it. It feels really good, and throughout this race I've just been a lot more patient, and that's another thing. When I'm a lot more relaxed and stuff, I just make better decisions, just much more consistent, just faster, just everything just goes up another level. And I think in this race I just made sure that I didn't get carried away, didn't take any risks or anything, saved my ERS to the end, which I'm trying to use on a last lap charge, and overall the pace has been really good. It's the red light flashes, which we have this massive debate on. Is it under 20% or under 10%? Which I know a lot of people are saying. I think we will really have to put this to a test. Maybe it's for another video next year, but you can see here, came home in P3, setting the fastest lap at the end, navigating our way through the field very nicely, and overall felt like I drove a good race. And before the end of this video, I have to give a huge shout out to Gravity, the main sponsor and supporter of my channel. This is the best place to buy and sell Bitcoin in the UK, or if you're in Europe. This is something, a little bit of a hobby of mine that I've been involved with in the past few years, and they've been a huge supporter of me. If this is something you want to get involved in, then please check the referral link down below. So moving on to race number 2, we are at Spa. Starting P14 in another 5-lapper race, and after the good result of Brazil, feeling pretty good. Again, I'm just trying to be as patient, or kind of say that as I go between two cars, but then I completely kind of spin around. Probably was actually my fault. In fact, we do a quick little cheeky reset to the track, and now we're in dead last. But the thing is here, if this happened to me and I wasn't in a good mood and I was taking the game a bit too serious, and yeah, it just doesn't put you in a good stead for the rest of the race. So we're going to use a little bit of slipstream from McCabe Sam, just getting the overtake done without using any ERS here. And I think for the rest of this, for the next 4 and a bit laps, we drove really well, as the Flying Rosie just completely just bins it going off there. But see, we're quite a way behind everyone else, and I think these next couple of laps are some of the best laps I've actually done on this game, and we are still using the default setup, so everyone is using the same setup as well. And again, I think, like I said in the first part of the video, when you come back feeling refreshed, I just feel completely motivated again. And sometimes it's hard, especially when races aren't going your way and leagues and stuff as well. You really want to just jump on the next day and just try and rectify things to just improve instantly. But if you just keep playing the game every single day, then you just don't break out of that pattern, and technically that muscle memory as well. You need to kind of forget how to play to then go up another level again, if that makes sense. And that's definitely what I feel has happened to me. I just feel a bit more rejuvenated in this game, and I'm extremely looking forward to league racing, which starts again next Monday and Friday. So going through to this tail 1, this is my fastest lap I ever did this race, and it was a very good lap with a default setup. It was really quick. I was quite shocked how quick this lap actually was. So using all the ERS going uphill, my teammates got the slipstream on me here. We've got to turn it off halfway down the straight itself, and you'll just be able to see the delta, how quickly we are closing in, because everyone here is very fast as well. This is a lot faster than your typical average lobby and doing that section to absolute perfection, using all the curb here, second gear, then third gear, then up into fourth, then up into fifth, and then keeping it in fifth gear just to maintain the stability and getting such a good run coming off that corner. Now into here, do a little lift, then straight back on the power, keeping it nice and tight, and this was just feeling absolutely awesome. Using all the curb on the entry, kissing it on the right-hander, making sure you get half your car on the inside just to drag you around here. It's up into seventh, down to third, just to get that little extra bite, and then using the rest of your ERS going down this straight, and you can just see the time that we have gained on everyone else. A purple middle sector there, running onto the grass a little bit there, which is a bit annoying because I've scrubbed off a bit of speed going into the final chicane as two people are going side by side, braking extremely late, very, very committed. First gear, left has done a 43.7 or 4, I think he's done, but we come across the line, we do a 42.9, I believe that is, which is, that is really, really quick with a default setup. I was really, really happy about here. But now we've actually brought ourselves back into the mix, and you can see all the cars up ahead, so we've gained a ton of time on that previous lap, and we still have quite a bit of the ERS left to go here. So I'm going to just use the DRS. No need to use the overtake button at all. We just got to think a little bit further ahead. Coming into end of a straight, quite easy to lock up going through here, trying to hook the car through the left-hander, open yourself up for the right, and you can see we get a much better exit than a couple of cars up ahead. You can just see I'm definitely just enjoying my driving. I was just doing this with a smile on my face, and I think that again is really important. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you are not going to be driving the best you can really at all, and that's exactly what I was doing here. I was driving, yeah, really just enjoying what I was doing here, and I think it is definitely showing in just the speed that I'm doing. Going for this right-hander, got to go fast, went out wide in the previous corner before going up behind the Humperdinck, who is actually the AOR Tier 1 Championship leader at the moment, so he's clearly a man who has got pace. Not going to use any of the overtake button, just being smart about it, just using the slipstream because we are all within that 6/10 window that I always bang on about. We are clearly within that, so we don't need to use any overtake because there's no real threat from McCabe stand behind. He goes in quite deep here, so we go for the switchback, starting the penultimate lap, using a little bit of the overtake button, just giving me a bit of a boost going into turn one, and we're only just outside the points with a group of cars with JQB, the car next up ahead of me. So we're going to use the overtake button now because I'm not within the 6/10 window, and the Humperdinck is probably going to have a little bit of a slipstream with me here, so I decided to turn it off. Then I'm going to use it again at the top of the hill because I can see JQB's red light flashing, which again debates whether that is less than 20% or 10%. Either way, I know he's going to be a lot less on the overtake power than I am because I have over 50% still remaining here. So getting a very, very nice exit off this corner, putting a bit of a gap between myself and McCabe Sam behind. I'm coming up to this group of cars, and I was just thinking at this point, just try and save all your overtake button for the very, very last straight. So there's no point using it in this middle sector, and I think JQB is having a bit of a good time as well. I think everyone here was just having a good time, and it's a bit refreshing from doing open lobbies because everyone here is pretty much a league racer who's always given respect to each other and stuff as well. Despite it being much quicker than the average lobby, it's actually nice in a way where you're not just encountering traffic and stuff all the time. So we're coming into the final sector of the penultimate lap. Not really going to use any overtake button once again, just trying to all save it because there's no threat from behind whatsoever. But we do have a 2-second time penalty because of that incident on turn 1, which was probably my fault, to be honest. But we've actually made a very good comeback, and this again shows why you should never quit, even in a league race. Obviously, if you didn't get damaged, of course, but you never know what can happen. And if you've got the pace, you can always have the speed to bring it back, because JKB goes very, very out wide here. So I've got a lot of ERS to play with, so I'm going to use a lot of it down this main straight. I saw his light, I think, flashing ever so temporarily there. So going up here, using all of the overtake button out of the DRS of McCabe Sam, and I was trying to use it here, and when does his light start flashing? Now it starts flashing. So I know for a fact, and also Alex Degu as well, I know for a fact that these guys have less ERS than me. They definitely have under 20%, and I still have about 37%. So I'm just going to save it for that final back straight. They're going very, very aggressively, side by side here. JKB, I have to compromise his line ever so slightly. Was thinking about getting the switch back, but this probably isn't a place where you want to really be overtaking as someone's going very, very slowly there. The Alfa Romeo get a very good launch off this corner, but again, no point using any of the overtake here. So I'm just trying to be as close as I possibly can going into the start of this sector 3. Absolutely love those sequence of corners. Really, really enjoy that. All about getting a good exit here now. Running a little bit wide, but we're not going to be at any risk of a 3-second time penalty. So I'm going to deploy all of my overtake button here. Now we get JKB. Alex Degu's red light is now flashing as well. He leaves me space on the outside, which means I can go around the outside. The two cars going into the bus stop chicane. We brake as late as we did. He tries to go down the inside, but we managed to get two cars on that final straight into P8 provisionally, trying to get a good exit, and we cross the line and we actually keep our P8 because they had penalties in the end. After being so far behind on the exit of turn 1 on lap 1, we come back to P8, and I just felt I was just driving really, really well there. And the message again, what I want to say to everyone definitely going to next year is make sure you enjoy yourself when you're playing any game you want to be good at. Know when to take a break for yourself, because you are priority number 1, and if you do that, then I think you'll reach your potential much, much faster. That is my final video of the year. So many more videos planned up for next year, so many more things planned as well. I just want to say I hope you had a great year despite the circumstances. I really hope you achieved everything you wanted to achieve. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. It is everything to me, and it truly means the world. Have a great new year, and see you in 2021. Peace.